It's not easy being human, and sometimes we forget that. In today's world where there's so much chaos and suffering around us, we can't avoid seeing it anymore with our interconnected world. And yet we're still deeply influenced by social conditioning, which tells us that we need to conform to certain ideas of success, which might include that we always have to look good, we have to radiate good health, we have to have our finances in such a state that we're never seen as needy or lacking. We have to achieve something in the world. We have to have our relationships together. But in that view of what it means to be human, what happens to the darker or shadowy sides of our human nature? The times of challenge, deep challenge, heartbreak, grief, loss, limitation. These are also vital parts of our humanity. This is where our wisdom potentially lies, in these hidden away parts of ourselves which our culture has told us are not okay, not to be brought out into the open, not to be shared. This is the fertile ground for our wisdom, for realizing what it really means to be a fully human being. For most of my lifetime, I've been exploring this process, which I call the soul journey. And you might hear the word soul journey, think, well, that's something very woo-woo or ungrounded or esoteric. But actually, it's very practical. The soul journey is a lifelong process by which we find the intrinsic meaning and our unique purpose in life. Why are we here? And we also develop the skills for standing fully in our own unique creativity and contribution. So this is not something philosophical. It has a philosophical aspect, but it's also very practical, very real. And I believe that by developing this framework I call it soul journey, you might call it conscious evolution, you might have other words for it. I don't really mind what we call it, but I'm trying to find a common language here. By really exploring this together, we can become stronger in the way that we stand in our own values, our authentic values. We stand in them on the earth and we live from them and we create from them and we contribute from these values. So that's really what I'm about in Tribe in Transition. It's having a shared understanding and learning and developing the skills that we need to be agents of conscious evolution, to expand and develop our consciousness. Because let's face it, we're not really doing very well as a species in solving our problems. And as Albert Einstein said, the only way we're going to be able to solve our problems is by transcending to a higher level of consciousness, a more expanded level of consciousness where we have bigger perspectives and deeper wisdom about what it really means to be a human being, a creative, intentional, authentic human being. So if this interests you, please come and join me at one of my Soul Sanctuary circles. Thanks for listening.